Hello dear students, as you all know we are doing chapter number 3. In the last lecture we have solved questions based on Kirchhoff's law. Today we will study about EMF of a cell. Okay. Today basically the whole lecture is about cell. So let us start, and the first thing we are going to study is EMF of a cell. What is that cell? In a circuit, suppose a resistance is there. The symbol of cell is like this. This is plus, this is minus. What cell does? Cell supplies energy to the charge. Okay, cell does not supply charge. It is a misconception among the students that cell is having charge. Why is it so? Because in our day-to-day life we used to say this cell is discharged now, okay, we have to take a new one. Is it clear? So this discharge means now this cell has no energy. Cell does not supply charge, cell supply energy. Energy to the charge so that the charge can complete the circuit. Now that completing a circuit is to be understood. Now see, this terminal is positive, means higher positive, and potential in this terminal is higher negative potential. When a positive charge is left starts moving from here, it will move from higher potential to the lower potential by itself. It is its spontaneous movement, right? We need not to do any work, it will go by itself, because charges have tendency to move from higher potential to the lower potential. But till this point, charge reaches to negative. Now what happens? If we want to maintain that flow of charge, then we have to carry the charge from negative to positive also. From negative terminal to the positive terminal. Let me make it a bit bigger so that we can understand. Suppose this is the positive terminal of the battery and this is the negative terminal of the battery. Okay. From here, the charge starts moving. They go and reaches to the negative terminal. This movement of charge is spontaneous. Charge will go by itself. Okay, we need not to do anything. Okay, if the circuit is connected, if there is no break, then charge will start, or positive charge will start moving from here, go through the resistance, come to a negative terminal, right? The motion of charge here it is spontaneous. Okay, but if we want to maintain that flow of charge, then we have to carry that plus charge from the negative terminal to the positive terminal also. Then only the charge can complete its cycle. Inside the cell also the charge moves, and it moves opposite to its tradition. Like positive charges move from plus to negative, but inside the cell it is moving from negative to positive. And for this we need to do some extra work. We need to provide energy to the positive charge. Okay, this can be understood by a simple logic. Like suppose a water tank is there. Okay, a water tank is there. At the bottom of the water tank, what we have done? We have connected a pipe, and this pipe is giving the water to another tank. This something is another tank. Okay, let me make it again. Here we have another tank. So from here, the water will flow to this tank, and it will be spontaneous only. Why is it so? Because this region is at greater height, then what will happen? It will have greater potential energy. This is at, suppose this is the ground. So this is at the ground, it has less potential energy. The water will flow from the higher potential energy region to the lower potential region. Lower potential energy region. This motion is spontaneous. This will go by itself. It need not to be started. It need not be done anything. Okay. But if we want to make But if we want to make a steady flow from water from here till here, it will not go by itself. What we need to do, we need to install a water pump between the path of this, okay, and pump need electrical energy to take water from here to here, okay. Cell does the same. Cell is actually the pump of charger, you can say, okay. Now the charger will go from here till here, where the charge will expend its energy across resistance. The connecting wire are assumed to be have zero resistance, okay. Ideally it is not possible, okay, practically it is not possible, but ideally we assume that this connecting wire and this connecting wire, they have zero resistance, okay. Now all the energy the charge will have, it will be expended across resistance only, okay. All the energy it has, and from where that energy comes, the chemical energy of the cell is given to the charge so that it can move from negative potential, negative terminal to the positive terminal. Here the energy is being supplied, and now charge uses that energy, goes across the resistance, spend its energy, then again comes to negative terminal, from negative to positive, again it's gain energy, then again it goes to the resistance, it spends its energy, then again it goes to negative terminal. So basically cell is what? Cell is having chemical energy which is further converted into electrical energy, and by that electrical energy charges starts moving in the circuit, okay. So this is what the function of cell is. Now that energy of cell which is given to a charge to complete its cycle, to complete its motion through the circuit inside the cell as well as the outside the cell. That very energy per unit charge is called EMF. So what should be the definition of EMF? EMF is defined as the energy given by cell per unit charge so that the charge completes its circuit, completes the circuit inside the cell and outside the cell. Outside is called EMF. The full form of EMF is electromotive force. Its name is force, but it is not a force. Okay, it is basically energy given to per unit charge so that the charge completes the circuit inside the cell as well as outside the cell. So basically EMF is work done, you can say, or energy given to charge upon charge. EMF is equal to W upon Q. This is the formula for EMF. Now this W upon Q is very familiar to you. For voltage also we write W upon Q. So its unit will be volt only. Okay, like like so many batteries you use, like the smaller battery used in the clocks, okay, wall clocks, it is of 1.5 volt. So 1.5 volt is its EMF, okay, 1.5 volt is its EMF. The battery which is blue at the top and white at the bottom, you are using that in different circuits by making models. In cordless mic it is used. So that battery is of 9 volt. Okay, that battery is of 9 volt. Its EMF is 9 volt. Okay, its EMF is 9 volt. Whatever the charge gets the energy inside the circuit, it expends outside the circuit. So that very energy which is given to the charge so that it can go through the complete circuit is called EMF of the cell. E is equal to W upon Q, its unit is volt. Now while moving inside the cell, it encounters with resistance which is called internal resistance. What is that internal resistance? Now while moving inside the cell, the electrolyte of the cell offers resistance. What is that internal resistance? I was telling you that the electrolytes of the cell, electrolyte means the material by which the cell is made. The electrolyte of the cell offers some resistance, and that very resistance is called internal resistance. So how we define it? We say that the resistance offered by electrolyte of the cell is called internal resistance. It is denoted by smaller. Okay. So how a cell is represented with this EMF and internal resistance? So it is represented like this. We represent cell as a unit like this. Okay. What we say? This is your EMF E and this is your internal resistance is smaller. Okay. EMF E and internal resistance is small r. So this is what the internal resistance and EMF is. Definition. Okay. Now we are going to calculate the value of EMF for a given circuit. Let us solve. Let us see how it is being calculated. Suppose we have been given a circuit like this. A resistance capital R is there and a cell is there and its internal resistance is small r. Okay, is it clear? Okay, its EMF is E, its internal resistance is small r. Now suppose a current I is flowing through the circuit. Now how we say that EMF? What we say? We say that EMF of a cell, EMF of the cell is equal to EMF of the cell is equal to energy, or we go by other words, we say that the energy given by charge, the energy given by cell per unit charge, the energy given by cell per unit, the energy given by cell per unit charge, which is basically EMF. This energy will be spent to overcome the resistance capital R and to overcome the resistance small r. So what we say? We say that energy is spent to overcome external resistance plus energy is spent to overcome internal resistance. Okay, internal resistance. So what is that energy given by cell per unit charge? It is equal to EMF. Energy spent to overcome external resistance. What is the energy? And. Before I forget, we are writing it per unit charge. Both per unit charge. Okay. So whatever be the energy is spending over R, if we take it per unit charge, then it will become potential difference only. So across R, the potential difference is I capital R, and across small r, the potential difference is I small r. So basically E is equal to what? I if we take common, so it is R plus R. This is one formula. Okay. And if you put IR as capital V, if you put, or if you get the value of I from here, the value of I will be equal to EMF upon capital R plus small r. This is another formula. Okay. Now, in place of IR, if we write V, then we have E is equal to V plus I into R, or V is equal to E minus IR. This V is called terminal potential difference. Terminal potential difference. Just how, why is it so? Basically, V is the potential difference across capital R. Okay. Across V, it is the potential difference V. Now that this point of the resistance is directly connected to the positive terminal of the battery, and this point of the resistance is connected to the negative, this small r is between the terminals. It is a way to represent, but a small r is actually between the terminals, positive terminals and negative terminals. So basically, whatever be the potential difference between the across the ends of the resistor, it will be the same between the potential difference between the terminals of the battery, and that is why it is called terminal potential difference. In short form, it is called TPD. TPD. So from here, what we can say? We can say that V is always less than EMF. Okay, V is less than EMF means terminal potential difference is less than the EMF of the cell. Let me repeat the whole topic again. What I have told you that energy given by the cell per unit charge, it is equal to energy spent to overcome external resistance plus energy spent to overcome internal resistance, and both the energies are taken per unit charge. Okay, so for energy spent to overcome external resistance, it is IR. Energy spent to overcome internal resistance, it is I smaller. I if we take common, then this formula has come for value of I, EMF upon R plus R. EMF is EMF of the cell, R is what? External resistance, R is what? Internal resistance. We say that current is equal to total EMF upon total resistance. Total EMF upon total resistance. Okay, for your understanding only. Otherwise, this formula is enough. Moreover, if I capital R can be written as V, so it can be E is equal to V plus IR, or V is equal to E minus IR, where V is called terminal potential difference, and it is the potential difference between the terminals of the battery when the current is being drawn from the cell. When the current is being drawn from the cell. So for this, it has a condition also. Current is being drawn from cell. So what I was telling that current is, when the current is being drawn from the cell, then V is less than E. But if the circuit is broken, suppose the one key is there, key is switch off, then current will be 0. And if current will be 0, then V is equal to E. It simply means that when the current is not drawn from the cell, then TPD is equal to EMF. Terminal potential difference is equal to EMF. So from here also we define terminal potential difference. We say that when the current is not drawn from the cell, then the terminal potential difference, the EMF is equal to the terminal potential difference, and that terminal potential difference is basically potential difference between the terminals of the cell. Okay. One more special case is there, and that special case is when the cell is being charged. When a cell is being charged, okay? Charging of cell includes a very small, you can say, concept. Like suppose this cell is chargeable, it is of 10 volt. We connect this cell by a cell of 20 volt, okay? Then what will happen? Instead, the current will go out from the cell, the current will go inside the cell. Because this cell has greater efficiency, has greater EMF, so from here the current will go to this cell. So in this case, current is given to the cell. So basically, in this case, when the cell is being charged, direction of current is get reversed. So when we put plus over here, then what will happen? V will be greater than EMF. It simply means terminal potential difference is greater than EMF when the cell is being charged. Okay? So three cases are there. When the current is being drawn from the cell, in that case TPD will be less than EMF. Second case is when the current is not drawn, circuit is open. In that case TPD is equal to EMF. Third case, when the cell is being charged, in that case V will be greater than EMF. So this is all about the cell. Now we'll draw some characteristic curve for the cell. Characteristic curve of cell. Characteristic curve of cell. Now just try to understand. The first curve we are going to draw between E and capital R. Variation of E with respect to R. E versus capital R. Okay? E versus capital R. E versus capital R. When we look at the equation I small r plus capital R, from this equation we feel that E also increases, but this is a wrong impression. Actually what happens when capital R increases, I decreases. Okay? Actually E does not depend upon capital R. A cell is a cell. What appliance, what load you are connecting with the cell, the characteristic of cell, that is your EMF, will not change. Actually E and R, they depends upon how the cell is being constructed. Okay, construction of cell, what electrolyte you have used, what is the plate area you used for the terminal. So many factors are there. So basically E is independent of capital R. So when we draw a graph to show the variation of EMF versus capital R, the graph will go like this. Okay, independent of capital R. The value of E is fixed. The second graph we are going to draw is V versus capital R. V versus capital R. Okay, V with the variation of external resistance. How this varies. Now just see, V can be written as E minus I into small r. V is equal to E minus IR. For E, for I we can write E upon R plus smaller into smaller. E we can take common. So in bracket we are going to have R upon r plus smaller. Basically I wanted to eliminate capital I. Now if we take LCM, it will become r plus smaller minus smaller upon r plus r. Now what will happen? This r will be cancelled out and we are going to have e r upon r plus smaller. Now again the variation of v versus r is not clear because it is there in the numerator as well as in denominator. So what I am going to do, I am going to write the expression like this. Hope you are able to understand. 1 plus r upon capital. Basically I have divided r in the numerator as well as in the denominator. So we are going to have this expression. Now to understand the variation, let us take r is equal to 0. If you put r is equal to 0, something upon 0 it is infinity. 1 plus infinity it is infinity. Something upon infinity it will become 0. So basically v is equal to 0. Second value if r is equal to smaller, r upon smaller, both will become same. It will become 1, 1 plus 1, 2, e upon 2. So v will be in that case e upon 2. And when this capital R is infinity, then this becomes 0. In that case, v is equal to e. Okay? So now let us draw the graph. So for drawing the graph, let this be R, let this be V. At somewhere it is equal to small r. Let this point be EMF. Okay? Let this point be E by 2. So for E by 2, the value of capital R is equal to small r. So one graph point is this, one is this, when capital R is equal to 0, V is also 0, and another is this, when R is infinity, V is equal to E. So graph will go like this. Okay? The graph will extend from here. Okay? Let me make R a bit closer. R. The graph will go like this. Is it clear? It is the graph between V and capital R. Another graph which is very important, and that graph is V versus I. Okay? V versus I. Why it is very important? Some students get confused with this as Ohm's law. Ohm's law graph is also V versus I, but that graph is something else. Okay? In that graph, what we have done, we have drawn Ohm's law graph for a conductor. Here we are drawing for a cell. Formula I am going to use is V is equal to E minus IR, and simply I am going to compare this with Y is equal to mx plus C. In place of m, here it is R. To be more specific, it is minus R. In place of C, it is E. How that graph will be drawn now? If I take here I, here V, in place of Y it is V, in place of X it is capital I. Okay? So how the graph will be drawn? The graph will go like this. Straight line. Straight line equation to this. Okay? This very point, whether V is 0. If you put V is equal to 0, then the current is capital E by small r. And when I is equal to 0, then V is equal to what? E. Okay? So this is how the graph between voltage and current goes. What is the slope of the graph? This is the slope. If this angle is theta, then tan theta is equal to what? Minus r. Okay? Just compare. In place of m, it is minus r. The slope of the graph is minus r. Okay? So these three graphs are very important. You need to understand these three graphs. Basically, these three graphs are called characteristics of a cell. Okay? Now, cell has been done. We are left with combination of cell, then meter bridge, Wheatstone bridge, application of Wheatstone, that is a meter bridge, then potentiometer, application of potentiometer. I think for combination 2 lectures are required. For Wheatstone and meter bridge 1 lecture is required. For potentiometer 2 lectures are required. So basically 5 more lectures and this chapter will be over. After the completion of this chapter, since it is a unit and I am taking test unit wise, so I'll take a test, okay, of chapter number 3. Okay, and we are doing the parts which are still there because CBSE has released the reduced syllabus, so I'm going according to that. Okay, so this is all for the day. Thank you.